Hi, my name's Toby and I'll be reading you Mr Tickle. Hope you enjoy, and now let's read. Mr Tickle. It was a warm sunny morning in this small house at the other side of the wood. Mr Tickle was asleep. Did you know that there was such a thing as tickle, did you? Well, there is. Tickles are small and round. They have arms and stretch and stretch and stretch. Extraordinary long arms. Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must have been a very funny dream because it made him laugh loud, and that woke him up. He sat up in bed and stretched his extraordinarily long arms and yawned, an enormous yawn. Mr. Tickle felt hungry. So, do you know what he did? He reached out one of his extraordinary long arms, opened the bedroom door, reached down his stairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard, opened the biscuit tin, took out a biscuit, brought it back upstairs and through it the bedroom door and back to Mr. Tickle in bed. As you can see, it's very useful indeed, having long arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle munched his biscuit. It looked like out of the window. Yesterday looks very much like a tickling day, he thought to himself. So later that morning, after Mr. Tickle had made him his bed and cooked his breakfast, he set off through the wood. As he walked along, he kept his eyes very wide, looking for somebody to tickle, looking for anybody to tickle. Mr. Tickle came to a school. There were nobody about, so reaching his arms, extraordinary long arms, to a high window ledge, Mr. Tickle pulled himself up to the peaked in window. The window. Inside he could see a classroom. There were children sitting at their desk and a teacher writing on the blackboard. Mr. Tickle waited a minute and then he reached in through the window. Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long arm went right up into the teacher's paws and then tickled. The teacher jumped in the air and turned round very quickly to see who was there, but nobody was there. Mr. Tickle grinned and a mischievous grin. He waited another minute and then tickled the teacher again. This time he kept on tickling until soon the teacher was laughing out loud, saying, "Stop it, stop it," over and over again. All the children were laughing too, such a funny sight. There was a terrible pandemonium. Extraordinary, Mr Tickle thought that he'd had enough fun, so he gave the teacher one more tickle for good luck, and even very quietly brought his arm back through the open window. Chuckling to himself, he jumped down from the window, leaving the poor teacher to explain what it was all about, which of course he couldn't. Then Mr Tickle went to town. What a day Mr Tickle had. He tickled the policeman on traffic duty at the crossroads in the middle of town. It caused an enormous traffic jam. He tickled the greengrocer just as he was peeling apples neatly in the shop window. The greengrocer fell over backwards and the apples rolled all over the shop. At the railway station, the guard was about to wave his flag for the train to leave. As he lifted up his arm in the air, Mr Tickle tickled him, and he tried to wave his flag. Mr Tickle tickled him until the train was 10 minutes late, leaving the station, and all the passengers were furious. That day, Mr Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor, he tickled the butcher.
Why do you want to kill spiders? They keep flies away. They're good spiders.
He even tickled old Mr Stamp, the postman who dropped his letters in a puddle. Then Mr Tickle went home, sitting in an armchair in his small house at the other side of the wood. He laughed and laughed every time he thought about all the people he had tickled. So if you are in anybody ticklish, beware of the tickle and those extraordinary long arms of his. Just think, Peppers, he's somewhere about here this very moment while you're reading this book. Perhaps that extraordinary long arms of his already creeping up to the door of his room. Perhaps it's opening the door now and coming into the room. Perhaps before you know what is happening, you will be tickled. Thank you guys for listening to this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name's Toby. Subscribe and leave a like. Thank you. Bye.